Welcome back to the Delaware Way. I'm Larry Mantey, fighting the homeless problem with tiny houses. You may have read about it and the controversy around it. We'll talk to some of the people involved. From the Victory Church is Pastor Aaron Appling and Sue Harris from Port Hope, Delaware Church. Thank you both for being here. But let's start by talking about what the tiny houses are and how that solves this problem.
Well, they're a 200 square foot structure that would have a bathroom and have a full shower, toilet, etc., kitchenette, and a bed, and it would be private. They'd have their own property, and it would solve the idea that you can't solve homelessness unless someone has a home. And so shelter is not a home. They're still homeless in a shelter. They're still homeless if they're in a hotel room. So until there's an actual home that people who are homeless could be transitioned into, will forever have a cycle of homelessness in our country.
It is a great idea, because most of the time when you talk about helping the homeless, they talk about creating more shelters or going out into the community and feeding the homeless. But this makes it so they're not homeless anymore. I guess that was the whole point of it in the first place.
Well, I think that's the idea too. Those shelters are certainly needed because you need to get people in and off the streets right away as much as you can. And feeding the ones that are left out there is important right now while they're still out there. But a solution to after the shelter is what we're looking for, some sort of affordable housing, permanent supportive housing sort of a thing to give them a place to feel secure and safe and be able to start fixing some of the other problems that they have.
Anytime you do something like this, especially when the homeless, because people are worried about their property values or they're worried about their safety, they don't want it in their neighborhood. So you've received some pushback because of that, right?
Yes. About 18 of our neighbors, I believe, of a neighborhood of about 60 houses and 60 families, have put up signs, and they're against it. I believe personally it's purely out of ignorance to the situation of what we're doing.
You're not going to make friends by calling them ignorant.
Well, I mean ignorance, and they don't really understand homelessness or homeless people. They have an idea in their mind that being homeless means that you're a drug addict, drug dealer, criminal, etc. You're alcoholic, and many of them have those problems, but also many people who live in houses have those problems as well. So homeless are people, and giving them a home is not going to make them somehow become criminals, So I think that once they really see what we're doing, getting homeless veterans off the street, getting some people that maybe just have some mental illnesses that keep them from holding a job, but they're not necessarily violent criminals or anything in that nature. I think once they realize what's really happening, it's hard for you to be against it.
Where is this exactly? Where are you talking about building these tiny houses?
Victory Church is the property that has been offered by, Victory Church has offered their land. It's on Forest Avenue. So we're working with the county in the hopes that we can get it approved and have the first village of 15 houses right there on Victory Church property, and that's on Forest Street.
Is this going to happen no matter what the neighborhood says?
Yeah, it's I mean, none of us have a choice who lives next to us. I have a house, and I can't say if someone decides to buy a house next to me, well, they can't buy the house because they're a pedophile or because of this. I have no choice. So I don't think it's right to say, well, homeless people can't live in this side of the country or this side of the county or this particular part, because that would be discrimination against a group of people. And I believe that the poor and the homeless, especially at the bottom of the poverty level, at the very least, are the most discriminated people in our country.
You do understand, though, and I hope they understand,
yeah.
The people that get this opportunity from you. One problem reported in the news, and it all gets, you're hurting everybody. You're hurting the church, you're hurting the other people that get houses. Do you think they all understand that?
Well, sure. I think that a lot of people, especially in the start of this pilot village, is going to have to be aware that the spotlight will be on this particular village, that we'll have to be super careful about that sort of thing. And there's always, in all of these villages that have been established throughout the country, there's an intake process, there's questionnaires. So unlike in most of the neighborhoods, you have people moving in all around you all the time. You really don't know anything about them. You don't know what kind of problems they might have had. We will know a lot about them. We'll know, just who might need extra help and that sort of thing. And if we have a bad neighbor or have a bad village resident, we'll have a way to get rid of them.
Once it works,
Right.
then it becomes accepted. So when you
there's so
talk
many
about
villages that
ignorance,
have.
the best way to cure ignorance is with education
Knowledge.
through example and with knowledge, and the knowledge can come with people moving in and everything going well.
Right,
And that
understanding.
creates an opportunity for more people to do the same thing.
It's a wonderful opportunity in this particular area too, because the church is right next door and has committed to be such a big part. Homeless ministry is huge in Victory Church, so they're a wonderful partner to make this particular pilot village work just right.
Well, I wish you all the success in the world, and when it does succeed, come on back
It will.
and we can talk about that
Absolutely.
too.
We hope to see many throughout Delaware.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you,
really
Larry.
appreciate it. I appreciate
it.
you coming in. Pastor Aaron Appling, who was with the Victory Church in Sioux Harris, Port Hope, Delaware. When we come back, one of the reasons for homelessness is gambling addiction. We'll talk about how some people in Delaware are dealing with that when the Delaware Way continues.